The story of Alice, the power of patience and perseverance. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between lush green hills, there lived a young girl named Alice. She was intelligent, eager to learn, and always dreamed of going to school. However, her family was very poor and could not afford her education. Every morning, she watched other children happily heading to class with books in their hands, their faces filled with excitement. Alice longed to be like them, to sit in a classroom to learn to read and write. But instead of going to school, Alice had to help her mother with household chores, gathering firewood and cooking. Though she tried to accept reality, deep inside she always felt sad and powerless. She feared that her dream of education would remain forever out of reach. Each day, Alice silently nurtured her desire to learn. Despite her hardships, a small spark of hope remained in her heart, telling her that one day she would find a way to change her fate. And then a fateful encounter changed her life forever. One afternoon, after a long, exhausting day of work, Alice sat by the river, quietly watching the flowing water. She picked up a small pebble and tossed it in, watching the ripples spread outward. As she observed the water, she felt as if her dream of education was as distant as the horizon. Suddenly, an elderly woman who had been watching Alice for some time approached her. Seeing the sadness on Alice's face, the woman gently asked, "My child, why do you look so sad?" Alice hesitated for a moment before honestly sharing her sorrow. "I want to study, but my family cannot afford it. My parents believe education is useless for a girl like me. No matter how hard I try, it feels like all my efforts are meaningless." Hearing this, the old woman smiled and sat beside Alice. She reached into her pouch, took out a handful of seeds and pointed at a large banyan tree nearby. "Do you see that tree? It started as a tiny seed just like these, but it didn't grow tall in a single day. It stood strong through storms and hardships, rooting itself deep before it could reach the sky." She gently placed the seeds in Alice's hand and continued, "Knowledge is like these seeds. Even if you don't see results today, every small effort you make strengthens your roots. Never give up." The woman's words ignited a fire within Alice's heart. A strong sense of determination surged through her, making her believe that she could still pursue her dreams. That night, after hearing the old woman's advice, Alice resolved not to let her circumstances stop her. She went to a neighbour's house and borrowed an old slate and a piece of chalk. Though she had no classroom, no teacher, and no books, she decided to teach herself in any way possible. Each day after finishing her chores, Alice practiced writing letters on the ground. She counted the stars in the sky to learn arithmetic. Whenever she overheard people talking about something new, she listened carefully to remember it. The world around her became her classroom, and she seized every opportunity to learn. As time passed, Alice's knowledge grew. She not only learned how to read and write, but also gained a deeper understanding of the world. Despite having no formal education, she continued learning with all her heart and perseverance. One day, a traveling teacher arrived in Alice's village. When he heard about the bright and determined girl, he was deeply impressed by her intelligence and eagerness to learn. In his spare time, he began to teach Alice everything she had never had the chance to study. Alice was happier than ever. She absorbed every lesson with enthusiasm, working twice as hard as other children. With unshakable determination, she took step after step toward her dream. Years passed, and under the guidance of her devoted teacher, Alice made remarkable progress. She not only became fluent in reading and writing, but also mastered many new subjects. She studied tirelessly, day and night, continuously improving herself. Alice's dedication and perseverance led her to achieve something she had never dared to dream of before. She became the first girl in her village to pass an important exam. News of Alice's achievement spread quickly throughout the village. Those who once believed that girls' education was useless began to change their minds. But Alice did not stop there. She continued her studies and eventually became a teacher, someone who could bring knowledge to other children in the village. As a teacher, Alice devoted herself to educating children, especially young girls, ensuring that no one would have to struggle as she had. She established a school in the village, giving many children the opportunity to learn. Alice's journey was not easy, but she proved that patience and perseverance could overcome any obstacle. Like the mighty banyan tree, she had grown deep roots of knowledge and resilience, allowing her to rise high and bring hope and change to future generations. Alice's story is a powerful testament to the strength of patience and perseverance. Success does not come overnight, nor is it achieved without struggle. Like the great banyan tree, before it can stand tall, it must first grow strong roots, enduring storms and challenges. Alice began her journey in the face of adversity. She had no school, no books, and no guidance, yet she refused to let these obstacles hold her back. Day by day, she took small steps toward knowledge. Each letter she wrote on the ground, each star she counted, each lesson she overheard, all were tiny steps leading her closer to her dreams. Her story reminds us that no matter how distant a dream may seem, every small effort today contributes to future success. The most important thing is never to give up. No matter what challenges you face, keep moving forward. Every hardship is merely a test that makes you stronger. Remember, roots grow silently beneath the ground, and one day you too will rise tall like the mighty banyan tree.